nourished. So they continually have hunger and start eating more and more, but eating the wrong things so that they become obese and are still not nourished and are still craving foods.
It has been said that supermarkets are like mausoleums, where the dead food lies in state. Once heat and pasteurization takes place, the enzymes are dead, and the molecular structure of food itself changes, making it hard to assimilate even its few remaining nutrients. Good health can exude beauty and sex appeal, not only skin deep, but all the way through the bone. The Gerson therapy is an approach to life that galvanizes the power of each and every person to experience life to the fullest and be assured of a life free of disease or some nagging unknown medical condition. For many, it also grants them a higher vibration or spiritual consciousness that spans every faith and walk of life. Day-to-day life experiences are fraught with perplexities that can be addressed in a negative or positive way. Life-changing success or failure results from our reactions to a flow of stimuli. The principles of the Gerson therapy clear the mind to inspire positive responses to stimuli. In cases of drug addiction, crime, and chronic mental illness, these afflictions too can be overcome. For example, cocaine and heroin addicts destroy their cravings for drugs in usually less than 72 hours on the therapy. The human brain is capable of storing information, recalling it at any second. Like books in the library, the knowledge imprinted in this organ of the body can be added to without limit throughout one's life. The only obstacle that arrests or commences to subtract those books is long-term lack of nutrients and environmental toxicity. Dr. Gerson observed that when nutrients are plentiful and the body is detoxified, the brain is restored to normal function. When the brain detoxifies, calm and clarity return, mental and emotional fog lift. Over 2,400 years ago, Plato wrote, "No attempt should be made to cure the body without curing the soul." The body is miraculous in its design and flexibility. It is a forgiving machine. Even following decades of punishment, it can rebound. One of the first steps we can take is to avoid environmental poisons, even those we think are insignificant. Harmful fractions such as chlorine and fluorine belong to a dangerous class of chemicals called halogens. These chemicals are found in virtually all municipal drinking water and inflict severe damage on the body's endocrine system, particularly the thyroid gland. Fluorine, a highly toxic byproduct of aluminum manufacturing, is very dangerous and expensive to dispose of. Industrial principles once convinced the American Dental Association that it would prevent cavities, an assertion that has since been proven false. Nonetheless, they found a way to dispose of this product by putting it in the public water supply. The only way to rid the water of this dangerous chemical is by steam distillation. But there are other semi-hidden dangers in ingestion of daily poisons that can be avoided. Charlotte cites one example in particular.
Well, the dental amalgam is now coming more and more into the fore, even while dentists used to dispute it. It's interesting to note that the American Dental Association claims it's perfectly harmless in your mouth. However, if there is any of the amalgam left over from what goes into your tooth, if it's just left in the office, they're required to dispose of it as toxic waste. But in your mouth it's safe? Of course it isn't. And it's been clearly demonstrated that a lot of children have seizures and all kinds of mental disturbances from the dental amalgam, and so do adults.
The danger of illegal street drugs in public and private schools is heavily publicized, but there are wolves dressed as sheep that are welcomed as they walk through the front door.
The trouble with Ritalin is sometimes, first of all, it's never been tested on children under 6. And they're giving it now to children in preschool and kindergarten. If the nurse or if the teacher feels that the kids are restless or are causing a problem, then they report them, and the nurse reports them to the doctor, and without any further thought, they put them on Ritalin. It does cause permanent brain damage even when they quit taking the Ritalin, and the American services like the Army, Navy, and Air Force will not accept any person into the service who's ever been on Ritalin because they are uncontrollable. They're mentally disturbed.
Rest is essential for all living organisms. During sleep, not only is the nervous system replenished like a storage battery being charged, but the body rids itself of poisons in a way that only sleep can accomplish. That is why upon waking energy is born anew. Sufficient rest is critical for children, and with the bombardment in daily life of hits to their systems in modern society, repeated lack of it can hinder and sometimes permanently damage a child's brain development. The developing brain of a child at this time in human history must clear a number of hurdles in a bid for genetic normalcy. Children are more vulnerable to environmental pollutants than adults because of their size and faster metabolism. One of the more publicized vulnerabilities is exposure to lead, especially lead from older homes where leaded paint was used prior to the 1970s. Remodeling and sanding of older homes produces a ticking time bomb if the dust is breathed in. These airborne heavy metals, along with numerous other chemicals in the food and water, are now, unintentionally, passed on to the next generation. But the removal, known as chelation, of such toxins, even heavy metals such as lead, is possible with close adherence to the Gerson therapy. Even the body itself can overproduce a substance that becomes poison in excess in stressful situations if the liver is unhealthy and unable to neutralize it. It's called adrenaline. Meet filmmaker Steve Krushel. Steve films and performs stunts for Hollywood films that push the envelope and the adrenal glands to the limit. In an occupation that demands split-second life-or-death decisions, the adrenaline flows in excess, and if not neutralized, can poison the body into illness. The potency of this substance is profound. When a drop of adrenaline is secreted by the adrenal glands, which are located like little caps on top of each kidney, it enters the bloodstream and is diluted instantly to between 1 to 2 billionths of its original strength. This would compare to one single drop of ink spilled into 6 million gallons of water. The purpose of adrenaline secretion is to accelerate the fight or flight response to protect oneself in threatening situations. The largest gland of the body, the liver, when healthy, is able to neutralize the secretions. In today's world, the abuse of this magnificent organ is relentless. Many people have liver disease and don't even know it. For the detection of a liver problem via illness requires the liver to drop below 30% of its full working capacity before symptoms become detectable. One of the Gerson therapy's main objectives is to restore the liver to 100% capacity and ensure its health. Another of this filmmaker's occupations is showcasing wild animals in natural habitats for public education as well as for the motion picture industry.
Working with wildlife all my life, I've learned about nutrition. Like this lynx here. If he wasn't fed correctly, he wouldn't be tame and happy and come to me when I call him. We live up in the North Country here, and lynx are found in the wild, and I use them for education. And they're very beautiful animals, but if they're not fed right, they don't have beautiful fur, they're not friendly, and they certainly won't come back to me when I call them. There you go. The